Hey guys, I thought I would go ahead and try to record myself teaching some of these poems just because it might be a little easier for you to understand if I do it this way. Please bear with me because I've never videoed myself teaching any of these units before. I'll probably make a lot of mistakes. I'll probably repeat myself a few times. I'll probably stutter. It's fine. We'll be okay. I hope that maybe each time I video one, it'll get easier and easier for me to do. So anyway, if you've seen my lesson plans, you'll note that I am starting a poetry unit with you, and we'll be going through a PowerPoint on some background in terms of sonnet structure, and then we will also annotate these poems. We'll put that information into practice. The first poem that we're going to look at is a poem by Sir Thomas Wyatt called Who's So List to Hunt. Before I get into reading the poem and kind of annotating that with you, I want to go over some background on the PowerPoint because it has everything to do with his writing, okay? I am going to look back and forth from my PowerPoint to you guys, so I may not be looking at the screen all the time, so just kind of deal with that for a minute. So anyway, Sir Thomas Wyatt was actually a very well-educated man. In fact, he attended school in Cambridge, so he had a great education. After he was educated, he got a great job being a diplomat for the king. So what is significant about that is that it allowed him to do a lot of traveling. And one of the places that he did travel to during his career was Italy. That's very significant because when Thomas Wyatt went to Italy, he was going in there right in the middle of the Renaissance. So there was a lot of art being made, paintings, sculptures, music, writing. And one of those writings would have been the sonnet. Okay, so the sonnet sort of originated in Italy, and Wyatt saw this sonnet form, this poetry structure, and he really liked it. And so he thought he would take that structure back over to England and create sonnets of his own. One of them being the poem that we're about ready to annotate. Okay, so he was kind of that guy. He started the sonnet over in England. Another thing that I want to point out to you was that, Sir Thomas Wyatt was close to the king, and even closer to the king's wife, Anne Boleyn, okay? We're talking King Henry VIII. So I don't know if you remember anything in history class about Henry VIII, but he had several wives. Some he beheaded, some he tried to divorce. Anne Boleyn was one that he ended up beheading. But anyway, Thomas Wyatt had a relationship with Anne. We don't really know exactly what that relationship entailed, but it was apparently a relationship that Henry did not approve of. And at one point, because he didn't approve of it, he ended up ordering for Wyatt's execution. Okay, that never actually happened, but later on, Sir Thomas Wyatt was imprisoned for treason. So I kind of wonder if that was all that Henry VIII could do regarding the situation with Anne Boleyn. He had to get him on something and put him in prison for something, and that had to have been it. I don't really know 100%. But anyway, his relationship with Anne is significant because we read this poem, and it has everything to do with a man chasing a woman who belongs to someone else. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read that poem here in just a minute. My goal is to try to replace the words that are confusing for you guys with the words at the bottom, so that way, again, the understanding is a little bit better. And then I'll hopefully try to annotate and then pull the paper up so you can see what I'm writing down, and you can do the same for your own document.